because last week we didn't have lecture because of Ram Navami celebration, and this week we have started little afternoon because of some space problems, so the lecture is in the afternoon. So welcome all of you all. And first and foremost, now we are going to do the revision of chapter 1. Now that we have completed chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita, we will be doing the revision of it. And here this has been a small assignment to our students. So all our students have been divided into 5 groups who will explain the 5 reasons why Arjuna was not ready to fight. Or rather, the first name of the first chapter is Vishad Yoga. Arjun Vishad Yoga. So Arjun ka kya Vishad tha? Vishad means sorrow, his depression. So we will know the reasons, what justified reasons which Arjuna gave, and how in the further lectures in chapter 2 we will see how Krishna refutes each and every argument of his by a proper Shastric justification. So let's start group wise. So let's first invite group number 3. What is the topic you are going to do? I want the entire group to be present here. I want the entire group to be present. The other group may please move to the camera frame. And what is your topic, please?
We would be talking about enjoyment. We would be talking about enjoyment.
And if every member can speak or one member can, it's your choice. It's up to you.
Okay.
Yes, please put forth what is the point you are going to give us. Now, they will be discussing about the enjoyment. How Arjuna was giving an explanation that how can he enjoy this worldly pleasure if all his kingsmen are killed. So this point is going to be explained by group number 3.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We see and we believe that name, fame, we see and we believe and we see things around like name, fame, enjoyment, acknowledgement, and happiness. They all are momentary. They all are there just for some time. For example, if you want, if I'm thirsty, I would drink water and after that I'm done. So this is how happiness or the moment enjoyments are. Even if the person is wanting to have it for a longer time, he cannot, because as I said, it is very, very time specific. Now, the main thing about the Arjuna was when he was contemplating that while talking to Krishna, that irrespective of, even though if he wins the battle, what he is going to do? Because ultimately he is going to kill everybody whom he knows from the beginning, from his own birth. So therefore he was reluctant to fight the battle, because at the end of the day, even though if he becomes victorious, what is going to do? Nothing, because he does not have anybody to relish that victory with. And that is the reason why he should fight the battle otherwise. At the same time, being Kshatriya, it is said that it is better to fight the battle than to run away from the battlefield. Do you guys want to add something?
We can elaborate this last point that he said, that if a Kshatriya wins the battle, he can enjoy the kingdom and the opulences. But if he is killed in the battle, he happens to enjoy the Swarg. So that is why Arjuna should fight the battle. And if he runs away...
What does this point depict? The point here is, we don't want to discuss chapter 2 over here. We want to discuss this all is in chapter 2. My point is, in chapter 1, what do we understand with respect to enjoyment? What are the correlative topics or the correlative things which we understand with respect to enjoyment?
That he required all his kingsmen to enjoy the freedom, victory with the king. He would show off his success to maybe to the relatives and all.
So for enjoyment, you need
People.
someone else.
Yeah.
And without, see, there is no enjoyment without anyone in your life. You need someone to share your enjoyment. Then it is actual enjoyment. Till then, there is no actual enjoyment. So you have to understand this point, that he was thinking that he is going to be happy when he is going to share his enjoyment with someone else. But actually, one can be happy when he is situated in a different platform. That is a spiritual platform. If one is situated in a spiritual platform, one can enjoy. Otherwise, material happiness is always dependent on someone else. It is never solitary or never independent. It is a dependent quality. For example, if someone wears a nice dress and his friend or his relative says, "This dress is not beautiful," he feels sad. The reason is, though he has liked the dress, he will really enjoy only when it is praised by someone else. So this clearly shows that enjoyment is a subjective matter. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your presentation. I hope you all understood the finer points of it. Yes, group number 4. Group number 4. Overtime, you are reading all overtime. Come on. Okay, what is your topic?
Fear of sinful reaction.
Fear of sinful reaction. Actually, this much time you would not require had you studied daily. Since you all don't study daily, that is why you require so much of time. Okay, who's going to represent all the group? I want together. Come ahead, together. No one hides behind, everyone comes ahead. Okay. Fear of sinful reactions. Okay, who's going to lead? Everyone is going to speak? Everyone going to speak. Okay, fine. Go ahead. So, here the point is, they are going to talk about sinful reactions. How Arjuna was talking about sinful reactions he would incur by doing this war.
Hare Krishna. So we are here to present the fear of sinful reaction of Arjuna. So Arjuna considered that rather than killing his own kinsmen for political reason, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behavior. Like he was telling, like when he do a war, he will kill his own men. So when he kill his own man, he will create a sinful reaction. Rather than he wanted to be a saintly person and wanted to forgive them. So yeah, so the further point will be discussed by other team members.
हरे कृष्णा। एग्रेसिव के 6 प्रकार है, वैदिक शास्त्र अनुसार 6 प्रकार हैं। विष देने वाला, दूसरे के घर में अग्नि लगाने वाला, घातक शास्त्र से प्रहार करने वाला, पराई स्त्री का अपहरण करने वाला और धन लूटने वाला।
ओके, ये 6 सॉरी इंग्लिश दिस 6 Okay, Hatatai. Okay, these aggressors, they can be killed without, any fear of having any sinful reactions. This 6 aggression that was done on Pandavas, there are examples to it, wherein poison के लिए this guy Bhima was given poison by Duryodhana. Okay, then second was killing with a deadly weapon. So Virat क्या है वो विराट पर्व, हाँ, at that time they were attacked with deadly weapon. The Pandavas were attacked. फिर लक्षाग्रह burn कर दिया.
Lakshagriha was burned by the Kauravas.
The house was set on fire.
House was set on fire, yes.
And
फिर शकुनी मामा ने cheating किए थे.
Shakuni cheated in a game of gambling and plundered all the riches from the Pandavas.
Very good. Then
after Vanvas also their land was not given back. Dwaupadi was taken and
disrobed. They tried to disrobe her.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So a person is never punished twice for their sinful reaction. So even if they escape the law of the land, they are going to be punished by the law of karma. And by Krishna consciousness, we can get away from the law of karma. So,
Very nice.
yeah.
Very nice. Well explained. I think group number 4, where you have given very nice explanation that There are various types of aggressors, and these type of aggressors should not be pardoned. And even Shastra says that these type of aggressors have to be punished, and very justly. Though this explanation looks correct, Krishna says that in the second chapter you will be seeing how this aggression is justified. Okay, now I invite group number 1 to present their part. I would like the whole entire group number 1 to come fast. Come fast.
हरे कृष्णा चल रहा है आवाज आ रही है हरे कृष्णा in chapter 1 of Gita as it is, in verse number 39 to 43, Arjun says कि he will not fight because he is afraid of that family tradition will be destructed. So he explained he told to Krishna that when there is a war, the whole elders in the family will be killed. When elders in the family kill, there will be धर्म का नाश हो जाएगा, irreligion in the family. जब irreligion होता है तो women are very weak in point of view taking, getting attracted to other person, and they are called as a weak in the family, but they are very important for the family, the women. So when the women are polluted, then the progeny will be polluted. And when progeny is polluted, then Prabhuji. So there will be Varna Sankar. So the progeny will be polluted. So the traditional customs of the family will be lost. And when any कुल का नाश हो जाएगा, और जब फैमिली कस्टम्स लॉस होंगे तो पूरा कुल उसमें चला जाएगा, नरक में. दे विल गो टू हेल. पितृ जो है वो नरक में चले जाएंगे.
और एक पॉइंट है. हाँ बोलिए, ऐड कीजिए.
In the chapter 1, verse number 43, Lord clearly mentions that disciplic succession is very important.
Okay, very good. The purport you mean, it's in the purport.
It's in the verse.
Hare Krishna. As Mataji said, if the women were polluted, the entire progeny will be polluted. We have a great example of Jija Mata, who makes Shivaji a great warrior.
Very good. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada ji has mentioned in the purport that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given only one solution. This Varna Shankar cannot be retrieved or revived. So there is only one solution. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Kevalam, Eva Kevalam, Kalav Nasta, Eva Nasta, Eva Nasti, Eva Gater Anyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of holy names of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way.
In today's Yuga, you can see earlier, because of this disciplic succession, Gaushalas and Gurukuls were supported, and today the support has gone to old age homes.
You mean to say these are all because of Varna Shankar?
Because of loss of disciplic succession and
See, you have to mention this point very clearly. First, female are polluted. Then, family traditions are lost. When family traditions are lost, then bad progeny will come. Last but not the least, then food for the sacrifice for the Shraddha, for our Pitrus will be lost. This is the sequential way in which the degradation in the family happens. This is to be given more importance rather than Harinam or Gurukul. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we'll call the last group left. Group number 2, please come. So I hope group number 5 has got more than the required time to prepare. Your topic is?
Compassion.
So, group 5, the topic is going to be compassion. Arjuna also mentioned explained one of the arguments he's giving about compassion. So, let's see how group number 2 presents.
Now, compassion, the Arjuna was feeling as compassion about his compassion when you are in a bodily concept. You are attached to your family, your relatives, and your teachers, and that gives a feeling that how can I kill these people? And if I kill them, I'll doing a wrong with my family members, and that's why he was feeling not to fight with them. At the same time, when he was thinking that he is at the mental plane of bodily concept, he started feeling trembling. His bodily symptoms started. His mouth was drying, and he was not ready to fight. And his Gandhi was slipping from his hand.
Though he was a pure devotee of Lord, but since right now he was thinking about, according to his bodily concept, he was feeling very weak mentally and physically. So, and he was showing compassion at the wrong place and at the wrong time. At the war place, you cannot show compassion towards your opposite party, you know. And in this today's world also, we are doing the same thing, like we are showing compassion towards dogs and not towards cows. You know, we are serving dogs at our place and keeping and, you know, feeding him properly. But cows are roving in the street and we are not taking care of it. So
that's the wrong compassion.
Wrong compassion.
So he was a character of sadhu. Kshatriya does not have that concept of not run away from the field. So if you think as a sadhu, then he finds it difficult to fight with the relatives. But as a Kshatriya, it is duty to fight and for the.
Yes, somebody else would like to add. You all can add.
Anything else?
The book में से कुछ point है तो बोलो बोलने के.
Done, all points covered हो गया.
You want to tell?
The sadhu point is very important. It's a sadhu quality, a sadhu product quality of a Kshatriya. Very nice point. Anything else? Done. Fine. Very nice. So they presented the point of compassion. So very nicely presented. Yes, compassion comes mainly because of over bodily concept of life. When you are too attached to the bodily concept of life, then compassion erupts. So very nice, rightly put. Now let me invite group number 5. Thank you very much. Group 5, please come and present your explanation. The last point, the 5th point put up by Arjuna, saying that he was confused. All of you can finish and sit in your respective places.
Hare Krishna, everybody. The last point which Arjuna put forward to Krishna was that he was indecisive. Now, indecisiveness will come from the previous 4 points like compassion, enjoyment, fear of sinful reaction, and destruction of the family tradition. Now, all these points lead to indecisiveness. Like everybody explained, all these points like compassion, enjoyment, etc., they all are from the bodily consciousness. So similarly, because of all these points, he was indecisive. I'll just try to put forward few examples.
We would like to first share here that Arjuna had fought all the warriors in Virat Yuddha. He had defeated them. So there was no reason for him to per se fear that he would lose the battle or anything of that sort, or he should not have feared, but still he had fought single-handed. Now he had the full army, but still he had that element of doubt, you can say, or something in his mind. Why? That is the question which we need to ask to ourselves also. What we try to interpret is this: then when you are taking a call on behalf of somebody else, then your mind is straight in thinking. You can think of Shastras and take the decision. But when the situation falls upon yourself, You being entangled in the situation, you are not able to think clearly as per the Shastras. That leads to the indecisiveness.
And for these indecisiveness, all the previous points come into play, like compassion, enjoyment, all those things. They all lead to indecisiveness. I would just want to give one example कि जैसे कि terrorist attack करते हैं, okay? Terrorist attack करते हैं, then somebody sends a fleet of army to counter the terrorist. अभी वो टाइम पे अगर जो मेजर है आर्मी का मेजर है, इफ ही डेवलप्स कंपैशन फॉर द टेररिस्ट कि भाई नहीं ये हमारे भाई बंद है, दे आर इक्वल ह्यूमंस लाइक अस, एंड ही डेवलप्स अ कोल्ड फीट दैट टाइम, व्हाट विल हैपन? और अगर सपोज उसके ऑर्डर मान के सब सोल्जर्स भी वापस चले जाते हैं, टेररिस्ट विल कॉज हैवॉक, मतलब वो लोग, हमको पता है कि मतलब कितना डिस्ट्रक्शंस क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. सो सिमिलरली इन द सेम सिचुएशन व्हेन द बैटलफील्ड वाज देयर, एवरीथिंग वाज सेट, सालों का उन लोग ने मेहनत करी थी कौरवों के साथ फाइट करने के लिए. कौरवों के साथ फाइट क्यों कर रहे थे? बिकॉज दे आस्क्ड ओनली फॉर 5 villages for them to rule because they were क्षत्रिय, बट वो भी उनको नहीं मिला, एंड बहुत सारे n नंबर ऑफ रीजंस थे, तो जिसकी वजह से उन्होंने इतना बैटल मतलब दे पुट अप सो मच एफर्ट्स टू फाइट, एंड एट द टाइम ऑफ द फाइट इफ अर्जुना इज सेइंग दैट आई कैन नॉट फाइट, व्हाट विल हैपन? यू नो, उनको एक और चीज से प्रॉब्लम था कि एंजॉयमेंट, के अगर कोई मेरा स्वजन रहेगा नहीं तो मैं एंजॉय कैसे करूंगा, वो विक्ट्री का क्या फायदा? ओके, सो दैट वाज आल्सो कॉजिंग हिम टू बी इनडिसिसिव. ओके, ये सभी बॉडीली कॉन्शियसनेस, मतलब बॉडीली कॉन्शियसनेस है, बिकॉज यू वांट टू एंजॉय विथ योर फ्रेंड्स, विथ योर फैमिली, ऑल दीज आर बॉडीली कंसेप्ट. However, when Krishna said that you have to fight, okay, you have to fight, he was talking, he was asking Arjuna to follow his dharma, which he was unable to follow. Okay, so these are few of the points, and I think Vishal Prabhu would also like to, Rajesh Prabhuji.
Yeah, so here Arjuna is not sure. So there are certain points what is confusing. So here he's not sure whether to fight and risk unnecessary violence, whether he should show some restraint and live a life of a beggar. Then also, even if he fights, he puts up a fight, where is the guarantee that the victory, there is no certainty. Also, if victory, also, what is the use of, say, even if he is victorious, what is the use of a victory in the cost of relatives and friends' life?
So, as Arjuna become indecisiveness, we also in our life become indecisiveness. So, what is the solution? The Bhagavad Gita says that we should approach to a bona fide spiritual master who can give us proper guidance for executing the purpose of life.
Just how Arjuna had approached Sri Krishna. Arjuna approached Sri Krishna, he surrendered himself completely to Sri Krishna. And then when the Supreme Lord told him that you forget everything, so we have to forget, we have to completely surrender. Means what? We have to follow the orders of the Guru for the Guru. Not only. So that way we will be able to overcome indecisiveness in our life, which is very important.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other points like to add on? Fine, thank you very much. So let's give a applause to all of us, to one another, because all of you all presented very nicely. Yeah, I can set it on the straight mode and I can leave it. So one must be wondering, why are we still in chapter 1 when we could have gone to chapter 2? Okay, all of you settle down. With a tremendous sound, there was a tremendous sound when Mahabharata Yuddha was started. Now that's a tremendous sound. Just getting the classroom selected out. Huh? Come on, fast. Okay. Very important point. Yes, all of you all put your points very nicely, very correctly. But let us understand these 5 reasons. Why have they ever come into the picture? Unless until we don't understand chapter 1 properly, going to chapter 2 to up to 18 would not make any sense. So let's understand chapter 1 properly. Let's put a hypothetical situation. The example, Jigar Prabhu, the example you gave was not the right example. The correct example, I will give you an example which will make it more self-explanatory. The explanation was, or the example is, let's say there is a judge. And for the judge, what is his job? To give judgment. Right or wrong? ठीक है, उसको फांसी पे चढ़ाओ, उसको जेल में डालो, उम्र कैद दो, whatever it is, he can just give. But what if when he is giving the judgment, at that time, his son is standing in the accused box? If his son is standing in the accused box, now what will change? Now, his understanding with respect to whether he is going to give judgment to his son or just he is going to do a duty of giving the judgment. That is the problem. Rather, I will put it this way. If things are going correct, if someone is going on a highway to unknown destination, let's say, he's going in a highway, he's going for a long, about 2 hours drive, and after 2 hours drive, he goes to a point where the road is now diverted into 4 roads. A junction of 4 roads. At that moment, there is indecisiveness. Which road should I take? Because the destination is not known and there is no clarity with his own self. Unless and until this type of situation doesn't come, one is never confused. When a problem comes in one's life, that is the time when he says, oh, which road should I take? The front one, the right one, the left one, which road should I take? Here, in case of Arjuna, Arjuna was confused because of 2 things. Should I do the Kula Dharma? What is the Kula Dharma? Taking care of his relatives. Not hurting his relatives. That is Kula Dharma. And what is the other Dharma which he was taking care of? That is Kshatriya Dharma. Kshatriya Dharma is to fight for Dharma. Dharma ko raksha karna hi Kshatriya ka kaam hai. So he was confused because he lost his identity. So chapter 2 is going to give him his identity. Whenever you are lost, whether I am a judge or whether I am a father, loss of identity. When you go back to the same example, when someone is sitting on the judge's chair, whether I am a judge or whether I am a father who is giving the judgment. Point number 2. Let's say Mataji, you may be a mother, you may be a daughter, you may be a daughter-in-law. These are all functional identities. Definitely your husband is not going to call you mummy, mummy. Your child will call you mom because he will address you, yes, my dear wife. So what does this mean? This is functional identity. But functional identity is when you are engrossed in functional identity, you lose your actual identity. That is the problem. When you lose your actual identity, you are confused. Should I go right? Should I go straight? Should I do left? What should I do? As long as you are having functional identity, this is the problem. So what is the actual identity? Krishna goes deep. Now in the 2nd chapter, he is going to first talk about his identity. You are a soul. You have to take from the soul's perspective what you are and what is your relation with other people is. Then one by one, these points are refuted. So this is the first understanding or the beginning of chapter 2. That in chapter 2, first and foremost, the speciality of chapter 1 is there is not even one word spoken by Krishna. entire this thing is spoken by Arjuna, and 1/4 spoken by Sanjaya, and rest everything is spoken by Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, sorry. First is Dhritarashtra, and then by all are spoken by Arjuna. But in chapter 2, we hear the Supreme Personality of Godhead speaking, and there, why was he silent? Everything will be elated in due course of time. So we take chapter number 2 and start with verse number 1. Who can read verse number 1 for me? Translation. Come on. Mila ki nahi? Haan, read. Sanjaya said,
Seeing Arjuna fall of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words.
So, when Arjuna was down with tears and totally broken till that time, because now he has stopped giving advice. First in the entire first chapter he was giving advice. अपने को नहीं मारना चाहिए, वर्ण शंकर हो जाएगा, अपने को पाप लगेगा, this and that he is telling. But now at this point he is going to say, he is now started crying. So अब इसना जो भी उसको भड़ास था, जो whatever he wanted to speak, Krishna allowed him to speak. So this is one of the management tips. When someone comes to you with, he wants to vomit out, let him vomit out everything first. Then you speak. No, wait, I'll start speaking. That's a very wrong attitude. And what did Krishna speak? The first verse spoken by Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So what does this mean? Ganesh ji is endorsing. Who is Bhagavan? Who is Bhagavan? बाकी सब देवी देवता हैं. कल हनुमान जी का पूजा किया रहेगा. तेल नहीं चढ़ाया? नहीं. क्यों? अरे to give us the intelligence so that we can serve Krishna better. So here, what did Krishna say? Kutastvam, I am not able to see. Kutastvam kasmala idam vishame samapastitam asarvyam justam asvargam akirtikaram Arjuna. Very important verse where he says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the values of life. They lead not to higher planets nor to infirmity. What does this mean? This one verse speaks a lot. What does this mean? Kutaswam kasmalam idam vishame samupastitam. What is the meaning of kasmalam? Kasmalam. Malam means impurity. Kasmalam means high class impurity. मतलब बहुत ही गंदा. Why does he say? विषमे समुपस्थितम अनार्यजुष्टम असर्गम्यम अकीर्तिकरम Arjuna. What does this mean? Anarjustam. What is the translation of Anarjustam? And then? Practice by. And then next word? Asarvagyam. What does this mean? Swarg pe nahi leke jayega. What does this mean?
Which does not lead to higher planets.
So what does this imply? Why did Krishna start with this word? He could have said, "Arey beta, Shromer." That's what we would do, right? But what is Krishna doing? Okay, what would happen if suppose there is a big fire in a building? Okay, there is a big fire. क्या हो गया? There is a big fire in a building, and let's say you are on the 10th floor or 20th floor. मतलब कूद के भी नहीं निकल सकते हो. 20th floor पे बैठे हो and the whole building is burning and somehow the fire brigade man is able to get the ladder up to your balcony and you are standing in the balcony and you are yelling, bachao, bachao, bachao. What do you think the fireman would do? Yes, Preeti, what would you do if suppose you are standing at the balcony and shouting for help? You look to be so cool. आग लगेगा तब देखा जाएगा. Come on fast, tell me, क्या करोगे आप? क्या करते हैं? Suppose let's say Vaishali is the fireman, firefighter, and Vaishali goes to save someone, and Priya Singh is shouting, मुझे बचाओ, मुझे बचाओ, मुझे बचाओ. What would you do? How would you save her? Come on fast, tell me, how would you save her? You run down. You will run down. Then there she is shouting. Please remember, the first thing the fireman would do is slap that person. पहले तुम चुप हो जाओ. First slap. Why? What is important? The point is, why would he slap?
To bring that person into consciousness.
He is in a hysterical situation. He is in a hysterical situation. He doesn't know what is to be. He just wants to be saved. So the first thing is, he doesn't need to be saved physically. First, he needs to be saved mentally. The first thing, what does he do? Thad kar slap मारते. तुम मेरे को झापड़ मारा. Then he realizes, oh, I have been slapped. Then he says, come on, now calm down. I have come to save you. Now take the ladder, I'll pull you down. This is how Krishna has behaved here. Krishna has said, Kasmalam, hey, kitna ganda. Arjuna ke liye, this word is quite, pinching. He's a great warrior, he's a great Kshatriya. For him, it is not easy to digest. So what is it? Kasmalam, kahan se idhar ye? घटिया चीज तुम्हारे अंदर घुस गया. सेकेंड, और तुमको इससे स्वर्ग भी नहीं मिलने वाला है, और यू आर गोइंग टू गेट इनफेमिटी, यू आर गोइंग टू बिकम इनफेमस. दीज 3 points. With this, he rattles Arjuna. Abhi bhi he has not started the Gita. Krishna is still not waiting, he is not given the Gita because he is waiting for him to surrender. 7th verse, he will surrender. Till the 7th verse, Arjuna abhi to jhapad khaya. Like he will come to his senses. Then he will surrender the 7th verse. Karpanya doshata swava paschamitam dharma samudicchata yeshreyasam nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasya ham sadimam tvam prapannam. The word he says, shishyasya ham, मैं तुम्हारा शिष्य हूँ, तुम मेरे मतलब तुम मेरे गुरु हो. He surrenders. That is where the Guru advises, as Krishna takes the form of a guru and he advises Arjuna. Till then he is asking, के कहाँ से घटियापन आ गया तेरे अंदर? So this is first slap given by Krishna to Arjuna. Okay, I can't teach now. With every time my eye is on the watch only, clock only. Yes, Mataji, what do you say? गुस्सा किया, but actually in short I would give the simple word. जैसे एक fireman आके पहला like suppose someone becomes very hysterical. Doctor मुझे बचाओ. चुप. Cool down. I'll save, but first cool down. कूदो मत. Cool down. So उसको पहले cool down किया. Yeah. So we'll meet next Sunday. At that time we'll discuss the rest of the. Anybody has got any doubts, questions?